It's just a length of hose. A few couplings. You could carry it under one arm. But this pipe, hidden in the engine room of one of the world's biggest cruise ships, would cost $40 million and put 7 felonies on the record of the company that owned her. This is the story of the magic pipe. She was the Caribbean Princess. Built in Italy in 2004. 950 feet long, 112,000 tons, over 3,000 passengers and 1,200 crew. A floating city. Every ship makes dirty water. Oil leaks and drips into the lowest part of the hull, the bilge. You cannot just pump that into the sea. The law, the MARPOL, allows no more than 15 parts of oil per million in anything you discharge. That's the job of the oily water separator. Bilge water goes in, oil and water separate, first by gravity, then through a filter that makes the oil droplets clump and rise. But before the clean water can leave, it passes one gatekeeper, the oil content monitor. Under 15 parts per million, a 3-way valve opens to sea. Over it, the valve sends the water back to be cleaned again. So how do you cheat it? You don't clean the oil, you defeat the gatekeeper. The crude way is a bypass, a magic pipe that takes dirty bilge water from before the separator and runs it straight overboard. But that still leaves the monitor watching. So here's the clever part. The monitor needs a little fresh water to rinse its sensor. Leave that fresh water line running into the sample chamber, and the monitor tastes only clean water. It reads 0. It holds the valve open to sea, while behind it, the real oily water pours over the side. On the Caribbean Princess, this was no one-time mistake. A bypass had been in use since 2005, 1 year after she entered service. Engineers ran clean seawater through the overboard equipment to fake a legal discharge, while the ship's real waste went into the ocean. For years. Then, in August 2013, off the coast of England, they did it again. What they didn't count on was a newly hired engineer, his first voyage. He saw the pipe for what it was, and he photographed it. In port in England, he walked off, quit, and handed his evidence to the authorities. When the ship crossed to the United States that September, inspectors were waiting. But the senior engineers had already acted. Before the inspection, the magic pipe was gone, and the crew had been told what to say. They lied to the inspectors' faces. It didn't hold. The photographs, the records, the black oil where only clean water should ever be, told the real story. And it wasn't just one ship. The practice reached across the fleet. This is exactly what a port state control inspector hunts for. Fresh scratch marks on flange bolts. A spare spool piece or a blank flange that isn't on the diagram. Black, oily residue in a sample line that should only ever see clean water. And the oil record book, checked line by line against the tanks, against soundings. When the numbers don't match the story falls apart. The company pleaded guilty to 7 felony charges. The penalty, $40 million, the largest ever for deliberately polluting the sea from a ship. $1 million of it went to the engineer who refused to look away. A length of hose, a running tap of clean water, and a $40 million lesson in what 15 parts per million really means. Caribbean Princess. August 2013.